Welcome back to the other live stream. Getting quite spoiled this week. I think the week closer that's coming in, I think, and back to work is really slow down. Get the music played for a little bit. Woo. Half an hour into the UK market. It is Friday. All right, I'll keep that music going on in the background. I like it. Have it a little bit higher, so you get a little bit of nice bit of a rock theme going on. All right, well, Bitcoin weekly chart. Bitcoin hit an all-time high yesterday at $112,000. Bang on again. It's tapped this white trend line that's following this here, pretty much. Look at that. Right in there, and it's still not quite finding its way through. Why is it not finding its way through? I believe it's because there's no money up there still. They still haven't built enough money, and they're trying to entice those longs. We've got all this money under here they need to come and get. I don't think it will come down this far, but it still could. Definitely believe it will definitely clear the 89k level on its retrace. It's going to happen at some point, probably next week or week after, and I'm going to use some news as an excuse for it to happen as well. They always do. But what news could it be? What's happening in the financial markets? So at Financial Times, which is the UK markets update, investors flock to equity funds that exclude US after Trump's return to power. That's crazy, isn't it? People are not investing in. So world ex-US funds have been long out of favour, but attracted $2.1 billion in assets over the past 3 months. But for some reason they're excluding the US because of Trump. We were thinking, when Trump comes in, everything's going to be great. They're going to, we're going to have all this money's got to flow in. What it did kind of flow in, but obviously they're playing games. You've got to remember this. It's all a big game, okay? Just keep that in mind. Japan's long-term borrowing costs hit a record high on demand fears. I like this. I mean, Japan and the US, it's great. I mean, as you know, I'm trading the forex of USD stroke JPY, and it's doing quite well. Still nice green profits there, which is great. Chinese battery maker surges 16%, the biggest listing of 2025. I had that yesterday. It was yesterday's news. So that's the Financial Times update. What's on the front page? CoinDesk, which is mostly around crypto, of course. So Justin Sun defends Trump after presidential dinner, says meme coins have merit. Tron Sun sees the president fueling a new American crypto boom. There's a lot of bullish news, but it's also those tiny little bearish news that's going on at the moment. What else have we got? Bitcoin enters strongest accumulation phase. It's January's BTC price passes 110k. Right? Anti-digital technologies, intersection of global innovation for blockchain, AI, and sustainable investing. XRP could rocket to $8 as focus shifts to crypto majors after Bitcoin's record run, traders say. Are you an XRP maxi? Because look, if you are, I'm not going to judge. Pretty much, I'm not going to judge you. If you are a XRP maxi, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at XRP. Shall we have a look at XRP? We're not on this one. But before we do that, in fact, I'll do that later on in the stream. We'll have a look at XRP, and I'm going to give you a realistic points of where XRP is likely to go in this run. Probably lucky to get 2 or 3 or even a 5x at this stage. We'll have to have a look at it properly though. I'm not saying to buy it, I'm not saying to go into it. I don't hold much XRP, to be honest. I don't really see it making me loads of money. Alright. Okay, right. So if you want to comment, they will come up on the screen. So please send us a comment, smash that like, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. So I like to send things out, could be time sensitive. Listen, trading is all about following the market, but not the news. Does that make sense? The news give you an idea of where we're going, where we're likely to go. If it gets very bullish, we're definitely going to be coming down. If it gets very bearish, then we're definitely most likely going up. Remember that. Oh, FIFA teams up with Avalanche to build its own blockchain. Ooh, that was 21 hours ago. That's nice news, actually. I like that. That's good news in my opinion. That'll be a good thing. Right, so what do I want to look at now? Look at the trades going at the moment. This is the ENA trade that I've been doing. I've obviously opened up quite far back here, or around here, if you remember. Moved it over here because I hate having massive risk to reward on the screen. If it goes all the way over here, it just annoys me. So I bring it over as long as the price is still there. At the moment, it's still in a nice, beautiful uptrend. So I'll map it out from here. At the moment, it's touching this trend line from the lower low, or if you want to look at it from the trend line from the first higher low when it actually started to move, it's still doing exactly the same thing. So it's touching that at the moment. I'll leave that in because it's got to give me another indication of whether we're going to be breaking this trend. That's fine if it does. I'll happily close. Oh, excuse me, had to sneeze. I'd quite happily close and enjoy having those profits. If it breaks below, I really don't care. It's a 20x leverage. It's still money. That's money back. 8 times 20. You do the math. So yeah, so I'm just trading this. This is my little way of trading now, using the higher lows and the higher highs, and also a couple of indicators that I like to follow. It's quite simple, really. To see the short here was in profit. It re-entered here, so I only had 2 entries, and I was still able to make 50%. Happy with that. Where can you make 50% or 10% in this world? It's hard to do that on traditional markets. It really is. That's why I love trading crypto as well as traditional market. Let's have a look see what Bitcoin is doing. As you can see, this is my trade that I opened up here, which was yesterday morning. Took this trade, now printed a lower high, which is great, and it started to come below indicator number 1. And this is a trend cloud that I found that I actually quite like, which is more for me of a confirmation of movement. So let's see what it does. At the moment, it's printing a lower low. If it prints another red, 3 reds on the hourly candles is a pretty good indication that it's going to change direction. It's a 75% probability if you get those 3 reds printed on this higher low, lower high, high, low low. Anyway, it is a pretty good and this indicator's free on TradingView. If you want to use that and you just want to base it on that completely, and the trend cloud, they are free indicators, and it's such an easy way of trading. Remember, some education for you: you must only trade 2 to 3% of the capital that you've got, of your funds basically, that you've got in that account, because what you don't want to do is do 50% of it, 10% of it, and you want to add, and then your liquidation levels come closer and closer and closer. I mean, look at this. This isn't even liquidation for me. Liquidation on this trade for me is all the way up here. It's 325. It's so far away. It's ridiculous. So that's why I'm very, very relaxed in this trade. As I've been doing a lot of learning, a lot of reflecting, I've made so many mistakes. It's ridiculous. And I've lost money, I've made money, I've lost money. It's definitely been a roller coaster. This is definitely the best way for me to start to profit again, and it's been going pretty well so far. That's why I wanted to share it with you guys. You know, you need to see how it truly is. Right, so what's the US 500 on the daily? How did that finish yesterday? It finished a doji candle. Now, doji candles isn't either way. There was obviously buying pressure and selling pressure at the same time. They just didn't really know which way they wanted to go. Pre-market on the daily today, it's wicked up. So we'll see what it does when the US actually opens. My thesis again on here is this it? Is this going to be the higher high, as you can see here? This is going to be a higher high on the daily. Is it going to continue up and retest this resistance level, or is this it? And it's just going to come down from there. If it does, like I said, if it breaks this area here, I'll definitely open a short and close one of my trades that's in a decent profit, and I'll probably ride this down to the next level, which is down here, because that's where it's probably most likely going to hit. That's your US 500. How's the Dixie? Dixie's coming down. Like I said to you, this is an area to look at. It's coming down, it's hitting this support area. This is probably a new cluster of support here. Let me put in another line to see what the lowest part end is. There's obviously a box here where you could long this if you wanted to, the Dixie. I'm not particularly one to long it, but you could long it up to this level here, which is pretty much a height. You could look at this thing, just pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's going down, which means that people are buying. It goes down, people are buying. If it goes up, people are selling. Remember that. All right, because this is like this shows the value of the US dollar. The US dollar is still a huge asset in the world. It's still the world's currency. Remember that. Although BRICS is coming out trying to take that away. Until such a time, we're following the Dixie for now. Okay, when the world markets change, then we'll definitely be moving over. All right. Okay, right, so how's this US Japan doing on the daily? Sorry, this is the weekly chart. It's still coming down. I'm still like eyeing these levels here to take profits. Remember that. It's still going well, nice in the green. Palladium has had a bit of a pullback. It's fine. I'm really not fussed. This one is a bit more. This one I'm going to hold for as long as it takes to get up to these levels here. I'll quite happily take my money on that. That's 100% on a 5x leverage. I don't know why I thought trading 212 was 10x. It's actually a 5x leverage on the normal. To become a pro trader, you can change your leverage, but it gives you a basic of a 5%. Link in the description below if you want to join trading 212. How's the China automotive systems? It's going sideways a little bit here. That's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm not really fussed. On the daily, I've got 3 reds. That's okay. Again, I'm really not fussed. So you can look here. On the daily, this higher low, lower high doesn't really give too much away, if that makes any sense. So yesterday we finished in the green. As you can see, if I scroll in a little bit, let's see if you can see it. Let's get a little bit zoom in. There was a bit of selling pressure on this one, but like I said, I'm really not fussed. That's fine. I'm holding this one. I'm waiting for these levels above. China automotive systems, I think it's going to do pretty well in my opinion. Silver, sitting around my entry, that's fine. I'm still waiting for these levels to come, so I'm really not too worried about that. Let's look at 10-year yield. At the moment it's going down. If it's going down, then there's sell pressure. Remember that with the government bonds. The government bonds are going down. There's sell pressure apparently. Don't ask me how that works. But right, so this is the D-Wave Quantum Incorporated. It's obviously had another move up. Pre-market, it's still on the move up. There's a lot of buying pressure here, but that's fine. This could be a chase trade. Like I said, you just do 2 or 3% of your funds. This is going to be entry number 3. It's moved up again. 10% is your next entry. That's how it works. I mean, you can make an entry high if you wish to bring a high. I always look at 10%. So markets tend to go for the 10% because on average people 10x leverage. So traditional markets even do the same. They go for that liquidity area, which is always around the 10% mark, because on average people 10x, so they can liquidate their funds. Pre-market is up at the moment. Could it hit here, have a 4th entry? Yeah, that could happen. But possibilities is how you work this market. It's possibilities. You could have taken profits down here if you wish when it was already coming down on the day. If you saw it going up, you could have closed that. It's completely up to you. But if I was trading this, I'd still be going in. I'm not in the trade. I didn't have the funds to do it, but it's still running. I'm just wanting to show you another way of what they call chase trading. Okay. All right, so what's the other ones we were looking at was the RGTI. Look at that. That is pushing up. Yesterday was a nice bullish candle there on RGT. Like I said, I was looking for this level to see how it reacts to close this gap. Pre-market slightly down, but you can't trust the pre-markets. The stochastic momentum indicator is quite high up, but not totally high. See how that runs. You can keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's definitely broken through this area here again, which was, I would say, quite a weak support. Cluster of support here because it broke through and started going around this area here, but yesterday it has broken through. So I'm going to take this away from that area there, because what we're looking at is seeing how it reacts up this area here, and there's your gap that needs filling. So it's probably most likely going to fill that gap before it does anything else. See how it reacts around this area here, which is the gap area, and obviously you've got that higher high up at the top as well. Another place to look at, which would be in red. See how it fares up there. If it gets to that point, I will be looking at shorting it. I'm going to see how it reacts. I'll be a little bit more patient than this one, just because I had to chase. If I was trading this, I would have had to chase trade it. So this one might be a little bit careful with this one. Just wait and watch how it reacts up here a little bit longer. This one is the QUPT, the Quantum Computing Incorporated. It's obviously back up again, same sort of thing as happened. This is my prediction. I believe it's likely to come down before it goes up. These are all probabilities of what it's more likely to do. Pre-market, it's going up pre-market. This could be one of those traps they do at the weekend. We just don't know, but there is a nice juicy gap up here that it wants to take. It could take that first, remember that. So it might not come down. I mean, I wouldn't short it from these levels anyway. You've got to see how they react, so just be patient and watch this level and see what it does. Still think it's probably gonna bounce off here and come down. It's more the probability, and then work its way back up, because it's this gap here that could be filled first, or it might fill the big gap first. Just don't know. That's why you watch, you're patient, and you wait and see what it does. What else were we looking at? Sorry, my cats are running around like crazy people. Robinhood, I said if I had the funds, I would have put the short in. Pre-market looks like, yeah, pre-market's up a tiny bit. But yeah, this area here would have been a great place to short. Robinhood has literally hit wicked off its all-time high. So that's a trade that I put in the other day to say that you could go for if you wish to, and it seems to be playing out at the moment. And you've got these two gaps to fill down here, and this is the ultimate This is the TP first level, and you've got the second level here if it goes that far. This is daily, which takes time. It really does. What else were we looking at? We're looking at TGT as well, which is Target Corporation for a long. Like I said, I most likely would long it down here. There's a gap here to fill first. Most likely will fill this first before it comes down, as it's definitely heading its way up there. This could create a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish head and shoulders pattern, or it could create a bullish head and shoulders pattern. We just don't know yet, but I wouldn't really touch this till it comes down to these levels here. Oil looks like it's coming down. Yep. Oil, I'm looking at these levels here, see how it reacts down here before I decide to even look at it. I was expecting it to pretty much go up in value because of what's happening in Iran, but no, it's coming down. See what I mean by the news? The news is out there to say that, oh, there's a war in Iran, oh, it's going to affect oil and gas prices or oil prices. But really, it's gone the other way. So it's gone in the direction that you wouldn't have expected. So you've got to remember that The news is there to sow a seed in your mind, and for the market makers to keep you on your toes. Remember that. All right, let's have a look at the trades and the trading 2-on-2. As you can see, silver's is down a little bit. That's fine. Palladium came down a little bit. My USD JPY is in 15 pounds of profit, which is 50% of my margin. The China Automotive is also in the green as well. Like I said, I'm waiting for the levels before I close them. In here, 216%. See, it's going up. It's pretty good for the ENA trade, and Bitcoin is just sitting around that level that I took the trade out. There you go, sitting around that level there. Let's see what it does and keep an eye on that. Well, let's put my lovely BTC chart on there first. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I hope it's given you a bit more of an insight and a bit more of an understanding about what to look for, how to trade, what tools to use, and probably best not to listen to the news. It's good to listen to it because it gives you an idea, but not to look at the news because it can sway you in the wrong direction most of the time. But I do keep on your toes because sometimes the bullish news can make it bullish and the bearish news can make it bearish. All right, so I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like, hit the subscribe button if you've liked this content. See you next time.